Once Gautam Buddha was traveling with his disciple, Ananda. They were in a hurry to reach the nearby village before sunset. They were rushing as fast as possible. But the Buddha has become old. And Ananda, he was older than Buddha. They are worried that perhaps they will have to stay in the forest overnight. On the way, they met a farmer who was working in his field. They asked him, "How far is the village?" The farmer replied, "Not very far. Don't be worried. It is just 2 miles at the most." Buddha smiled. The old man smiled back. Ananda could not understand the reason behind the smile. What is going on? 2 miles have passed. There was no village yet. Moreover, they were tired too. Ananda asked an old woman collecting wood, "How far is the village?" She replied, "Not more than 2 miles. You have already reached. Do not be worried." Buddha laughed. The old woman laughed. Ananda looked at both. What is this laughter for? But after 2 miles, still there was no village. They asked a third man again the same question, and the same situation. Finally, Ananda dropped his bag and said, "I am completely exhausted. I cannot drag myself any further. And it seems that we are never going to cross these 2 miles. 3 times we believed. But I have a question. Living with the Buddha for 40 years, he has learned how to live with such a man. Not to ask him unnecessary questions. But, he said, now, if it is unnecessary or necessary, I don't care. You have to tell me, why were you laughing when that old man said, 2 miles, just 2 miles. You have not to go more than that? Also, you laughed with that old woman. And, again, with the third person, the same thing happened. What was this laughter for? What was transpiring between you people? You don't know them, they don't know you." The Buddha smiled and replied, "Our profession is the same. When I laughed, they laughed. They understood that this man belongs to the same kind of profession, where you have to keep people encouraging. Just 2 miles. Just a little more." He said, "For my whole life, I have been doing that." People finally reach their destination. But if, from the very beginning, you tell them 15 miles, they will drop then and there. But by 2 miles and 2 miles, they will pass 200 miles.